and welcome to Last Man Standing, the show in which I endeavor to stay awake for 2 hours and sometimes fail. And that's the fun of it all, isn't it? Air raid sirens going off in my headphones and people shouting and getting text messages to no avail when all it takes is some lady telling me to wake up. And without further ado, let me bring on Josh and Bill here. We are uh, uh, we're without the stupid o'clock, the rest of the stupid o'clock crew, because they think going to bed is important. When I have definitely proved that sleep is irresistible, but bed is optional.
Well, Dan, I got to ask you a question. I
Hmm.
heard that. I heard about that story.
Yeah.
I hate I missed it because I could have got you up a lot quicker.
Well, you call your wife in the room and tell her to tell my sorry ass to wake up. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
If you'd have
Uh,
heard a woman, if you'd have heard a woman's voice, you'd have woke up.
hey, I don't know what it is, but it works every time. Well, I haven't known it to fail yet, so I don't know. It might. I don't know, but usually all it takes is that gentle voice in my ear going, "Wake up, you
Yeah.
idiot." Oh, well.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten my recording from Donna yet, so
Hey,
to use
she
on you.
actually she actually did record it. It was posted in the secret humor group, so
I missed that.
you just have to go back and scroll through it till you can download your own copy.
Yeah,
Hey, look, I'm a pragmatist. If it works, it works. I'm not gonna bother with what kind of voodoo it is. Uh,
Uh, all my wife's got to do is say, "Josh." I'm like,
what
"Where am
what
I
I
at?"
do now?
Yeah.
Did I forget to pay a bill? Uh,
Just don't hit me with the pan.
yeah, really. Yeah, not wanting to get tedded. Oh heavens! No, no, I do have an excuse. Well, no, I don't have an excuse. I have an explanation. Evidently, I went through an entire pint of vodka that night and didn't realize it. I was drinking uh, Bloody Marys, and I had gone through an entire bottle of Bloody Mary mix and opened up the second bottle, and it had Tabasco sauce in it, and I didn't like that much. So I think
Right.
I I think I mixed the last two or three a little bit stouter just to go ahead and be done with it. Um, I've still got the Bloody Mary mix, but the bottle that I brought home from Hallowcon was excellent. The one that I bought in the store, I ain't buying that stuff no more. I'm gonna look at the label and make sure that I don't ever buy that again. Uh,
Uh, See, I like the store brand. I like is a Zang. I don't know if you've ever had it before.
no, I can't say that I have. The name doesn't sound a bit familiar, but
It's very good. It's got just enough spice that you don't have to add Tabasco, nothing like
yeah.
that.
Well, I was hoping that this one would be mild enough to where if you were really wanting the Tabasco, you'd go ahead and add your own. But this one had a little bit more than my stomach could tolerate. So I rushed it. Um, now there was other stuff that I brought home from Helicon. They had little bitty cans of tonic water and club soda, and Lindsay has to have Irish whiskey to dribble over her Christmas cake. And she's going, "You're going to help me finish this bottle off. I'm going to put my share in the cake, and you're going to finish the rest of it." And I go, "Yeah, you just leave me that club soda, honey, and we'll be fine."
Mm.
Irish whiskey, yeah, I can drink that. Thank you, baby. Just don't put it in my lunch to take to work. All right. Woo. Uh, It's not usually she uses brandy for a Christmas cake,
No.
and we get the good stuff, but she'll get the little ounce and a half, 2 ounce airline bottles, and she'll just put the whole thing, just dribble it slowly over the whole cake. It's like a fruit cake, basically, and it just soaks it up, and it you know. If you got to eat fruitcake, you're gonna need some kind of liquor to wash it down. Let me tell you, I had some bad experiences with fruitcake in my youth that did not have any alcohol in them whatsoever. But the ones that she does that do have the uh, settling in period, yeah, uh, those are fantastic. They really are. And actually, when you're eating a fruitcake, you can't tell it's got any liquor in it whatsoever because the alcohol does evaporate out and just leave the flavor of the brandy in with the fruit and the cake mix and stuff. But no, it's excellent. It's excellent. So these things are a learning experience. They happen. You just got
Oh
to
yeah.
kind of,
I cook with wine and brandy and stuff like that.
yeah.
So,
There was a beef stew that I made that I marinated the stew beef with a red wine. I think it was a Merlot. I'm not really all that educated on wines and things, but it was a very very dark red wine, and when I actually browned the stew beef chunks, all the alcohol evaporated and the rest of the flavor stayed with it, and throw in some diced onions and whatnot, and get it ready to put in with the vegetables and what for the beef stew, and it turned out really, really well. We expected to be able to have leftovers from that crock pot for about 3 days. And between the two of us, it lasted about 18 hours.
Mm.
I mean,
well, the last time I cooked some tacos, I deglazed the pan, which it had onions in it,
mhm.
taco meat. I deglazed it with some white wine, and that's the first time I did that. Normally, I don't do it with taco meat, but
Yeah.
I was like, let me try this. Oh, wife loved it. It
Oh,
tasted so good, and
hmm.
I was
The,
like, it was on point.
the French and the Italians do have it right. You put a little bit of wine in there, and it's even better than putting a little wine in the cook. So,
Well, I was about to say, I mean, like you said, you can't really taste. You don't really
yeah, all
taste it.
the alcohol's gone. You just
Yeah.
have the flavor of whatever it was that had the alcohol in it before. Um, and a lot of times, unless you're trying to cook with some 151 or something, you
You're
know,
gonna have flame this time.
well, until the alcohol boils off.
Uh,
Oh, we've actually got
Hi,
a good.
guys.
Hey, Ace, how you
hey,
doing? Glad to have you. Especially being as it's after stupid o'clock and all this everything else has been happening in there, and if you weren't there at the beginning of stupid o'clock, um, Lewis has asked not to have to do the news at the beginning of stupid o'clock anymore because it's too much like his day job. It's like being a professional chef and people only ask you over to their house so you can cook for them. It
Mm.
was turning into too much like work. And if he wants to do something, if he's got something worked out, and usually for stupid o'clock, it's got a punchline to it. It's there's some humor involved, but there's not an awful lot of humor involved in the news we've got around us at this
uh,
time.
That's
Uh,
what I was. That's what I was about to say. That'd be my only problem. I
yeah,
can't.
we
I'm
can
a,
we can make jokes all the time, but if you're dealing with current events, it's sometimes hard to find a hook to hang a joke on.
yeah.
And there
Unless
are
you're talking.
occasions there are
Unless you.
occasions when the news is something you don't want to joke about because it's just too serious.
Unless you're saying what's the princess name? Camilla or other than. She might still be smelling Biden's farts. I mean, that could be a punchline there,
I don't know. No. Camilla would be uh, Charles's wife.
yeah, she's the one that smelled his fart.
Wouldn't know. I would not have the
No,
slightest idea.
it was in the news over there in Britain. So
Oh, do I smell popcorn? Uh,
yeah,
I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't touch that.
but it was in
Hey,
the news.
my
And
wife.
he
My wife
and
is
plus,
English, so I usually hear these things first. But that's
and
that's not.
plus and plus he had to change clothes while he was at the Vatican. So take that as you will.
Um,
He
wasn't
might
aware
have
he.
put he might have pooed in his pants.
I wasn't aware he'd ever visited the Vatican.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, these things they happen. Maybe they had Brussels sprouts for lunch.
He took his Geritol.
Sometimes you just can't help it.
Yeah. Well, Bill,
I had a little bit of a news item,
Oh,
not
well, go
current
ahead.
events, but like I alluded to in Stupid O'Clock, it was kind of a this day in history that I did have get something together, but it was on this day in 1928 that Mickey Mouse was born, when the first sound synchronized cartoon to attract widespread public notice, Walt Disney's Steamboat Willie, premiered in New York at the Colony Theater. The black and white cartoon featuring Mickey, Minnie, and Pegleg Pete had lasted 7 minutes. So, with Walt Disney as the voice of Mickey, the cartoon met with great success. In 1998, Steamboat Willie was one of 25 films that was added to the Library of Congress, National Film Preservation Board, to the National Film Registry. And as Walt Disney recalled of the cartoon's first showing, the effect of our little audience was nothing less than electric. They responded almost instinctively to this union of sound and motion, and I thought they were kidding me. So there they put me in the audience and ran the action again. It was terrible, but it was wonderful. And that was something new for back then. And as some of you may know, I run every day is Saturday group, which is all about everything Saturday morning television. So I put this one in there. Typically, it runs from the 1950s through the 80s, but little gems like this I can't ignore. So I always put classic Disney in there.
Yeah.
And then particularly on Sundays, because that's when everybody watched The Wonderful World of Color, that would be later called The Wonderful World of Disney.
and you said that was Piglet. What
Peg
Peg
leg.
Leg Pete.
Peg leg
would that?
Pete.
I was about to say, would that turn in to be Piglet?
No,
No,
Oh,
totally
different Disney character.
okay.
different universe whatsoever. Piglet was in the Winnie the Pooh universe. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Ace. Let me see here. I do collect some coins, not fanatically, but Why do you ask?
I know we have a
I have
person.
some Spanish coins.
I've got a whole bag full of stuff from all around the world. That, it doesn't have any real monetary value, but it's stuff that I've just picked up over the years. Some of it in packages of comic books that I bought that have little coins or the little paper money or stuff.
Mm.
Found that, whoa, 1912 Liberty nickel. Hang on to that, son. Put that in
Standing Liberty or walking Liberty, Ace, because that could be a designation on how much it's worth. I am not the coin expert, but I know enough to ask.
Hey, you know more than I do. Hey,
Well, we have a brother and sister that sits a couple rows in front of us at the auction that we go to on Friday nights. And he is a collector of coins. There's actually several people there that collect coins, and they sell they auction off coins every week. But he in particularly is interested in World War II era coins. So anything that ever comes up involving those years, he's always good to bid on them. And but
did you ever show him that Spanish coin I sent you?
Okay.
Well, maybe
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Did you ever show him that Spanish coin I sent you?
The picture of it?
Yeah.
I don't remember if I did or not. I can't remember. And that it might have come up, but then that's been quite a while since you sent me that picture. So
I think it's like 1823.
Yeah.
Ace, here lately, what I've been trying to collect is the state quarters, which I've got all but two, and the state park quarters, which I am still missing quite a few from the earlier years. The hardest thing for me to get is the ones from the Denver Mint. There's the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, and teeny tiny off to one side there's a little P or a D on the quarter on the front, and that's how you tell the difference. I actually got one. Already had the Philadelphia and the Denver. This one had a W on it, and I found out that is from the West Point Academy Mint, which usually does the special, not real money, sort of commemorative coins.
Right.
But occasionally they actually deal with spendable money rather than collector's items. And I put that sucker in the folder with the rest of them too. I had never seen anything. I didn't even know there was a West Point Mint. So a friend of mine from college that is a whole lot more knowledgeable than I am clued me into that. And thank you, Gil. I really appreciate that. It's one of those things that when I shuffle off this mortal coil, somebody's going to have to value what I've got and make sure that my wife and my kids don't get cheated when somebody goes to cash all this stuff in, because I can't imagine anybody going to hold on to this 10-pound sack of almost worthless coins that I've got here, as well as the paper folders that you put the quarters and whatnot in. So
I think as long as they don't go to some place that on the front of the building it says we pay cash for gold and coins and something like that, that most people would be pretty honest with them about certain prices. Now, what they will end up giving you for something as opposed to what it's worth, that's a different story altogether.
Well,
Well,
thankfully, my friends that do collect things, they may not be an expert in any particular whatever it is that has to be valued, but they know
Mhm.
people that are, and they know to put it out there for collectors rather than some place that's just going to weigh the bag and go, okay, best I can do is $20.
Mhm.
Probably got that much in
the
5 cents,
bag.
any quarters in there. Wouldn't take
See,
that many.
I used to have all the states quarters
Hmm.
before the tornado got all of them.
Oh, that must have hurt.
Yeah,
Now the rest of the neighborhood has them.
shoot, hell, Georgia might have all of them.
They might be in the Atlantic Ocean somewhere,
Well, the
considering how
way,
big that storm was.
the way my check stub went, I'd say Georgia. So,
Oh, okay.
because that's where my check stub got mailed to me from. So,
16 times more value because of the silver. Um, if you wind up selling it for the silver content, it's still not going to be anywhere near what it would be worth to a coin collector. There are things out there that
unless
are
it's
just they're just absolutely normal, except that there's some defect to it. There's some discrepancy from the standard
Mhm.
coin, or it's actually
if it's
it's
point
you
nine
can't
nine
find
nine
it
nine nine
anywhere.
nine silver.
Yeah, you can find a collector that wants it as it is and not to be melted down. That will pay you a whole lot more than what the price of the actual uh, metal would be. Uh,
Say silver right now. I don't even know what silver is worth right now.
I don't keep track of it. My investments are all in the stock market, so it's not worth anything until I cash out whatever's left. So
I know oil's gone down again. They were saying that gas prices may end up being a little cheaper for the holidays coming up, but I'll believe it
that
when I see it.
that would be nice. That would be nice. It
Says silver ounce per ounce, $25.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, Ace, you do. You hold on to it for a while, um, and talk to. Try and find somebody who is an actual coin collector that you're not going to try and sell it to. Just ask him for advice or her.
Go to like an antique store, coin collector, get
Yeah, well,
a
as long as they
couple
know up front, you're not looking to sell it.
selling it. Yeah,
You just want to know what it would be appraised at.
Well,
yeah.
in Ace, there may be, I'm sure there are tons of Facebook groups that you can get in that are coin collectors or that talking to the other people. Don't talk, to the, like I said, going into a place of business to ask the questions and that. Just, these people, yeah, there's going to be some of them there in the groups that say, I have this to sell, or I'm going to sell off this collection, or this was my
Yeah,
grandfather's. But most of them are just in these groups to say,
Try
hey,
to
I found this and it's got this damage to it. How does that really affect the value? Or
mhm.
as like most of them will tell you, if you find some and there's some issues with it that you feel that cleaning may help it, a lot of them are telling you don't even do that
bring it.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't even bother to clean it. Yeah.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Mm. I take
So, but
I
yeah,
take a polishing cloth to my state park quarters and the state quarters every once in a while because yeah, it's not. they're not ever going to be that valuable. It's not like it's a rare coin. But mostly because uh, tarnish on something like that bothers me. Tarnish on something that would be an actual collectible would be showing that it is actually a collectible and not somebody trying to put something over on a collector.
Um, yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
just never been into it myself too much. I've got stuff from my grandfather that I've hung on to, and I have some very old $2 bills that my grandmother had, and I think I probably showed them on here once or twice, but
mhm,
it's just I know they're nothing special other than they're special to me because of who they came from.
yeah. Uh, Ace, yeah, I'd have been shocked when I found something that old myself. Uh,
Hmm.
even I don't think I have anything near that old, unless maybe it's some of the British coins that Lindsay's dad gave to me.
Oh yeah, there's this.
Oh yeah,
1763.
wow.
And was you able to read anything else on there, Josh? Like I said, when you sent me the picture, I've slept since then, so I don't remember if there was anything legible on there other than the date.
Well, I don't want to clean it. On the one side it says Patrona, Patrona,
Well,
Bavarine.
Patrona almost sounds Italian.
Well, it could be.
no, it's a brand of tequila.
Yeah.
Well, that was the back side. I'm sorry. And then on the other side it says DG Max Maximore.
Patrona, BAVARIAE coin.
Yeah, sounds right.
That is German Bavaria Thaler, THALER, Patrona, 1866 to 1871. What date did you say yours was again?
It's got 1763.
Mm.
Okay, and they did go back that far. I'm playing Scarborough here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of Mexican, it's German.
It's German. Yeah. Okay. Oh well, this one here.
Come on, Bill. Come on, Bill. Make me a millionaire.
Yeah.
I'll buy you a house.
You're a millionaire in our eyes. That's good enough, isn't it? Show the front of is there the face of the coin that shows yeah. Okay, hold that up. And that looks like it. European medieval coin metal, Hungary, Patrona Bavaria, 1763 KB. This says it's a commemorative coin.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
If it's that old, it's worth something just to being commemorative.
well, it popped up on eBay. Somebody's selling one on there. Weight 24.69 grams, 40 millimeter diameter by 2.3 millimeter thickness. Of course, they put a lot of crap on here that I don't care about, but details, that's all that it's saying. They're asking $36 for it, which originally they asked $40. But
so their original price is what they really thought they could get out of it, and nobody
well,
paid that, so they had to go down.
the main thing is on eBay or in any of these other sites, you always want to tap the filter and hit the sold price, because it doesn't matter what they're asking for it. You want to get some sort of idea of a worth. If you are looking to sell it, you look at the sold price on them.
Well, and then again, eBay is not the best place in the world to go.
No, I'm not, and believe me, I'm not saying it is, but this is one of the things that's popped up for that. Here is another site. I'll just tell you right now. Drape bust to the right, mint mark below, head breaks legend at top. It's describing the coin. The reverse is the lettering for Patrona Bavaria. And I thought I found this is through This is through the World Coin Price Guide. But well, it goes through all the grades of it. So, okay, here's the good and the bad of it. Josh fell on the floor. I see his ceiling again.
No, I'm just digging through my coin bag here.
Oh, it could be worth anywhere from $10 to, it looks like, $200, depending on the year mint, the Denton, the mintage, and of course, the grade.
And of course, who needs it for their collection and how much they're willing to come off the hip for. That's the thing. You can get more from somebody that, I need this to complete this particular bit of my collection, and I'm willing to pay whatever to get it. It's like that last Tom Swift Jr. book, number 33, which is not all that good of a book, but because it was the one that ended that series, it did not sell well, so there are not that many copies out there to be had. So it was priced. I probably paid more for that than I paid for about 5 or 6 others combined.
I had Tom Swift Jr. and his flying machine, and I don't know where that landed in the series, but somewhere along the lines.
Flying sub?
Might have been.
Or was
I still have it.
Was
it's
it Tom Swift Jr. or Tom Swift Senior?
No, Junior.
Okay. The Flying Lab.
Because this would have come out in the 50s or 60s.
Yep. With the yellow picture covers, or was it the blue denim covers, or
blue?
Okay. Yeah. That was the library copies.
Yeah.
Mostly they were sold to libraries with the blue denim cover.
I mean, it had a picture on them of whatever on them, but the cover of the book was predominantly blue. And that's the only one I've ever owned. I've had a lot of Hardy Boys, and I've actually even had a few Nancy Drews. A couple of them that I know I think I originally bought them for my daughters back in the day, my stepdaughters, and the oldest one got into reading it, and the youngest one just does not get into reading at all.
Mm.
But Josh, if you tap into the NGC price and value guide, that'll get you on the right track for your coin.
All right.
And you could probably find most all the rest of them you got in that as well.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. But it's all a matter of, like anything else, like comics or anything else, getting it graded and seeing where. I mean, you could take it somewhere and somebody can give you kind of an estimated guess.
Better estimate.
Yeah. But
I was about to say
the real profit would come from finding a collector that needs what you have to finish off what they've got.
Yeah.
And they would be willing to pay top dollar instead of trying to argue you down to something more to them reasonable.
Oh yeah. I was about to say I've got a James and Madison gold dollar too, which that probably ain't worth but $1.
I've got a whole folder full of £1 notes from England, and some of them are from Scotland, some of them are from Ireland, some of them are from England themselves, and they are outmoded and no longer recognized as legal currency, so they are worth about as much as a piece of notebook paper to anybody but a collector.
Well, see, that's what makes me sick. That tornado, I had German money, English money, I had Japanese money, Korean money. My dad was in the military, Marine Corps, and I had all of that. I had Vietnamese money. I mean, Philippine money. I had all of this.
Well, I've occasionally asked my friends around the world if they were ever going to send me anything. Just go through their pocket change and send me just stuff that they have right there. It's like not looking for collectibles, just looking for a lot of stuff from around the world, And my father-in-law used to send me stuff, not only before the British money went to decimal currency. I've got some old stuff in there that he sent, but it's not that old. It's not like it's somebody back in the 1700s would have had in their pocket, but no, it's from mid 1950, 1940, something like that, and then I don't remember exactly when they went to decimal currency, but that sort of thing. So
before Soros crashed.
Before Soros was born.
Where he was a gleam in his mama's eye. Well, Dan, I told you they have coin at the auction we go to on Friday nights, and they have a lot of paper currency. For the longest time, up until the last couple months, there were always 1957 silver certificates. And every week, to the point to where I went up and asked the auctioneer, I said, are you printing these up out back? How did you get a hold of so many? But typically $7 to $10 is about all they're worth.
Yeah.
And to these collectors, but we'll get a lot of the foreign currency, like you and Josh were talking about with yen and Deutschmarks and pounds, and they'll group them all together. They don't hold an interest. Some of them are older, and some might be from the 50s or 60s, that recent. They don't hold a lot of interest with a lot of the collectors that come to and I could probably get you an envelope full of them for under $20.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
sure. I'm sure. I've got a whole. Here, let me see. You know, that's about 5 pounds, maybe 7, and it's Lord only knows. You know,
Bill,
it's
Bill, you got
probably about $20 worth. You know.
Bill, you got to keep your eyes on the
I'll be
Confederate
right
money
back.
out there.
Oh wow.
The what? Oh yeah.
Confederate money.
Confederate.
Yeah.
I did get one some time ago.
Yeah, I know you told me that. They're easy
Yeah,
to fake.
it's in the other room, but
They're easy. They're easy to fake.
well, they're. I will
Well,
tell.
I say not to fake, but they made replicas.
Well, they made them for the 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
Back in the 60s, which they're printed on one side on some of the actual fake ones. The ones they made for the anniversaries, they printed on both sides, but they would put the actual date on there, 1961 or 1963, whatever it would be, that would be appropriate for the 100th anniversary of this particular Confederate dollar. And those are actually worth some money. I know the last one I bought, I think I paid like $14 for it. And then I saw one a few weeks after that in an antique store, and they were wanting $45. And they said firm. So I don't know if somebody just got one for a really bad deal, or if it was worth some money and he was, not going to accept any less than what he had on there. But yeah, I actually remember when I was a reenactor looking at certain settlers, and they would have them in their case, and I could buy an actual bill for probably under $50 at that time. And a lot of them now, you can't touch them for under 200 or 250. So it just, yeah, well, and the market will judge it, but so, but like I said, I'm just not really into collecting coins or even paper money all that much. I got a few things here and there. Laura had a bunch that were her dad's that he had collected. He told her, get rid of them and keep whatever you can get out of them. And we sold. So she sold, I think, a good amount of them to our friend from the auction, knowing that he doesn't sell them. He's buying stuff to collect for himself. So that's mainly the reason why he will 9 times out of 10 only bid on things that are World War II era, because that's his interest, anything World War II. And we got other people there. You could tell somebody's going to bid on something if a record album will come up, or Hot Wheels cars. We got that set up in the same front row with the one brother and sister who collects the coins. There's another brother and sister that come, and we say that's the sibling row. And that brother and sister, one of them's always good for collecting piggy banks, and then his sister is always good for collecting little ornamental glass slippers and that. So anything comes up, they say, Carol, Cliff, and get their
They know who to call.
attention. Well, they kind of figure on a lot of things with the regular people, what they bid on. And there's plenty of them that buy stuff there that they turn around, they either have eBay stores like Laura or selling on Etsy or Mercari or what have you. Matter of fact, one lady that we know, she makes her entire living off of what she sells in her eBay store. And she does quite well with it. So anytime we see her bidding or buying something, we always kind of pay attention. And then we go look, and knowing what she paid for it, we go back and look in her eBay store and see what she ends up selling it for, or how many people are watching it, or how many people bid on it, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And you can learn a little bit.
Yeah.
But
my maternal grandmother used to collect anything that had an owl on it. And for quite a long period of time, my mom collected elephants. We never could figure out why. And then she told us, I wish y'all quit giving me this stuff. I don't even like elephants. And I'm going, Mom, all your life you've been collecting these things. And go, no, people just give them to me because I bought one once. And then my second wife collected anything that had frogs on it. And Lindsay now has continued that, but she's going, well, I just did it because I thought you liked it. And I'm going, honey, those were Cindy's. They weren't mine. If you don't really like frogs, and there's no reason for you to keep spending money on them, I like them just fine, but I'm not fanatic about it. I mean, if I was going to collect something, it'd be like Astro Boy or Speed Racer. So she goes out and buys me every Speed Racer cartoon that's ever been made. It came in a little Mach 5 tin.
So by the way, I hate to tell you this then, since you're a Speed Racer fan, I know that I think it's either Matchbox or Johnny Lightning has the Speed Racer car. I forget what they called it, because I haven't watched it all that much. And Dan's probably has it. Yes, folks, Dan's reaching into his magic bag of tricks.
I don't know what he's.
Oh, it's Hot Wheels. Okay, yeah, there you go.
It's the Mach 5, and they also made the Mach 6 from the live-action movie, which is, it was really neat, and this has got a lot of dust on it.
And Chris Walker is confirming that's the Mach 5.
Yep.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah. Chris, get your butt in here. I also have some rare, I don't know if it's Matchbox or what, but Ward somebody, I can't read the signature. Anyway, he drove the Certainty race car in NASCAR. So the company I work for actually sponsored a NASCAR driver.
The what car?
It was NASCAR, but it was Certainty, and a lot of other corporations got together to sponsor him. So Ward somebody, I don't know.
Ward Burke.
Might be. I can't read the last name. It's in cursive. So and it's
Ward, West Virginia. He's from West Virginia. Ward Burke.
And actually, I've got a photograph of me with his car. They one of them they brought it out to the plant and set it up in a tent and let us take pictures next to it and whatnot. It was quite a while back.
Yeah, he don't even race no more.
Well, my when I was actually into watching races, uh, it was Bill Elliott was the man for me.
Yeah,
And when
Awesome Bill
also,
from Dawson,
yep,
Dawsonville.
I have been through Dawsonville, and if he learned how to drive on those roads around there, no wonder he's so freaking good. It's like trying to drive on a snake. Let me
Uh,
tell you, you learn
he,
some skills in that little town.
hey, he still got the speed record.
Yeah, well, when he retired, I kind of backed away any interest in continuing to watch races. I will occasionally sit down and watch one. Don't know who's in it. Don't know who works for who. Don't care. Uh, it's like watching a high school football game anymore. As long as
Yeah.
it's good, you know.
You watching for the wrecks like everybody else?
No, I'm watching for the tense moments when somebody goes, "Ooh, I could get around this guy," woo, and does so. You know,
Well, I was about to say, Bill's son, he races. Uh,
I had heard that. I had heard that.
Chase. Um, but yeah, I don't really watch it like I used to. I watch like Daytona, Talladega, Michigan, and
Yeah.
Indy.
Well, we're talking. When did Bill retire? 30 years ago.
Talk about Bill.
Yeah,
Elliot.
Oh, yeah, at least.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Well, no. Didn't he do something? Have a car or something in the '90s for a while? I mean, I know he did in the '80s, but didn't he? I'm trying to think. He had Superman on his car for a while
No,
through those.
he drove a few, like 3 or 4 races, like every year for a
Yeah.
couple of years after that. But yeah, he
See,
was like semi-retired.
Yeah, he'd made his mark and was just
yeah.
going. I'm still here.
Well, when I worked at Lowe's, could you imagine all the Jimmy Johnson crap that I got? I mean, coins, everything. And we got things late 90s. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I figured it was in the 90s, but I couldn't remember how far. But anyway, the furthest thing from being a Jimmy Johnson fan, I'll tell you when I stopped watching um, um, NASCAR.
Why ain't you in here, Chris?
Yeah.
You
Oh, he's
obviously
getting his
already awake.
he's probably getting his snacks.
I mean,
But um, I really stopped watching after Petty retired,
mm,
and I never was a Kyle Petty fan.
Yeah,
But I got all kinds of Jimmy Johnson stuff, and then I never cared. I gave most of it away. I probably still have some things, but they gave us stuff that people couldn't buy, and that was the whole thing for it. Well, what do you think the people were doing that worked at Lowe's? They were turning around and selling it. So it was on the market. They
yeah.
thought they would keep it off, but no, it got on there. There was a certain full color coin that they put out for Jimmy Johnson just for Lowe's employees. This would have been back 2008, 2010, somewhere around there. And hang on to that. That's going to be worth a lot of money. And then next thing you know, the market is flooded with these things.
Yeah.
And whatever it would have been worth at the time when
It
they
no
gave
longer
them out to
does.
us, it probably wasn't worth a 16th of the amount.
I used to get to go to Talladega every year, My uncle was the manager
Mm.
slash district manager. All well, he was a manager over Bruno's here, and he was district manager of Food Worlds and everything here in the southeast or in Alabama. So he got free tickets
Hmm.
to go to the races at Talladega,
Hey,
and
that,
we got hospitality passes. You know, free lunch, free breakfast, free lunch, and all that crap. And we got to
that's
go
what
to
you
the
sneeze at. Yeah,
oh, we got
that's
to
respectable.
and we got the I don't know why he got the Coors. Every year it was a Coors pass, and that was before I could drink, unfortunately. Uh,
That's that's all right.
Well,
I've had
my
yeah,
Kool-Aid is stronger, has a higher alcohol content.
my sister-in-law that I just talked about earlier, losing her on Saturday. Um, she went to Bristol. Well, she lived not far from Bristol anyway. They were over in Elizabethton, Tennessee, which is 10 hours from here. But anyway, they were close and they used to go to my brother. He was real big on NASCAR for a while he was still living. But anyway, back in 2016, my sister-in-law posts for her cover picture on Facebook of my two nephews getting a visit from somebody right
Wow,
there,
the
oh wow,
man.
and the man himself. And I was slowly very, very jealous. And I guess he was more than gracious with my nephews.
Well,
He was really nice, and my
from all reports, he was that way with everybody he met.
yeah.
yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
I was about to say, yeah. Just despite his son, that's what I was about
yeah.
to explain. The first driver I ever met was his son. He drove uh, a Coors car, and he hated to sign autographs and everything like that.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
he would he'd be over there cussing and everything like that in that hospitality tent.
Hmm.
Yeah. But when it got to a kid, he'd be like, "Oh man, we put rain tires on here, blah blah blah." I'd be like, "I just heard what you said to this person in front of me." My
Chris, I'll
cousin,
send you a link.
I
my
already did.
cousin, my cousin in front of me.
I already did, Bill.
Oh, you did? Okay, thank you.
But then the next year it was Sterling Marlin,
Hmm.
and I don't even think they had a driver the next year, and I was 21, so I got to drink with steak for breakfast, steak for lunch, and I just finally just walked over to Dale Earnhardt's tent. They didn't even ask for nothing, and that was the year Earnhardt flipped them
Mm.
trial at Talladega.
See, all this is Greek to me, Josh, because I had done quit watching NASCAR when all
Yeah.
that was going on. I knew Dale Earnhardt was a good driver, and he was popular, and that's all I ever knew about him. And then when he died, you didn't hear nothing but about Dale Earnhardt.
Mm.
Alabama loved Dale Earnhardt.
Mm.
I just remembered what piqued my interest in Bill Elliott. One of the guys that I worked with at the factory was on his pit crew.
Mm.
So
Bet he had a lot of good stories.
he did, and there was no way to tell when he decided to, shall we say, abandon facts for some really, really good uh, fantasy there.
Well,
Weekend
there was
running.
there was no way to tell when he stopped telling the absolute truth and went over into the slightly shaded truth. Just a little bit more entertaining. But,
minor embellishments. That's how I
mhm.
always used to phrase it.
Well, basically, he was assigned one particular tire. Uh, when they pulled in
Well,
for a pit stop, that was his tire. Pull that sucker off, replace it. Put the lug nuts back on. Make sure that they wasn't going to break, and uh,
I
wave. And
would,
yeah.
I would hate to have that job.
Well, it was a high pressure job. It really was, because if anything slowed you down, all the fans got mad at the pit crew
Mm.
because they had their favorite driver, and if the pit crew had a problem where something took a little bit longer than normal and a pit stop took a little bit more longer than what the fans thought it should, and they know everything, so they
if
would get mad at the pit crew, not the driver. It doesn't matter
mm,
which pit crew and which driver. That carried across the entire fandom there.
Yeah,
It,
as I say, get ready for some beer be thrown at you.
yeah.
mm,
Uh,
if you guys don't mind taking a small detour
sure.
uh, to do it, but I'm mainly doing this for you, Dan. I don't know if you saw this. I posted. Let's see, did I post it? Stupid o'clock. Yeah. Um, I'm friends with Karen Grassel, who
Hmm.
played the mother on Little House on the Prairie,
Hmm.
and she has a new book out called Bright Lights Prairie Dust, and it's her story, not just about her in Little House on the Prairie, but
A basic
prior to
biography.
it, after. Yeah, it's a biography, and they've been building up to the release of the book, which was just yesterday or a day before.
Well, go ahead and promote
And
it. That'd be great. Yeah.
well, um, um, it's on Amazon, and but what she has a little thing that she sends out, much like uh, Cindy Kep and Brian and Michaela Jade and all that do every month to everybody, sending out the emails and that. But Karen does this every day, and she has new content. Part of it is to promote her new book, and that, which I do plan on getting. And then the other part of it is just to talk about either things from Little House and showing photos from on the set. She did one recently where it was in between takes, and she had Melissa Gilbert, who played Laura Ingalls,
Mhm.
down on the ground tickling the bejesus out of her. She had her legs kicked up in the air. It was very funny. And then Allison Arngrim, who played Nellie Olson, standing right next to her, looking at her. But Nellie isn't dressed, so she must have not been in the scene. She's in her regular street clothes, and that. But she has her hair, the hairstyle, the Nellie Olson hairstyle, the little twirl thing on there. But she also um, will have people who read the book that she sent out. What do you call them? The copies that you send out to people to read them and then critique them.
The advanced reader copies. Yeah.
Advanced readers, yes, thank you. And so she'll post what certain celebrities or people who've read those on there. But then also she posts a little quote. And it could be about anything or everything. It could be from somebody that you know or somebody you don't know. This one really got to me, not because I'm an author, but because you and so many others are. And it's from Carl Sagan, which of course I know Carl Sagan, but I never knew him, this quote from him. But if you don't mind, I'll read it real
Go right
quickly
ahead.
here.
Go right ahead. Please do.
And like I say, this quote from Carl Sagan, and he says, "A book is made from a tree. It is an assemblage of flat, flexible parts, still called leaves, imprinted with dark pigmented squiggles. One glance at it, you'll hear the voice of another person, perhaps someone dead for thousands of years. Across the millennia, the author is speaking clearly and silently inside your head, directly to you. Writing is perhaps the greatest of human inventions, binding together people, citizens of distant epochs who never knew one another. Books break the shackles of time, proof that humans can work magic." And I just thought that was such a wonderful tribute to authors and books in general.
The man was a poet, although he spoke in prose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He had the soul.
I shall return.
All righty.
Okay. Thanks for the warning.
Oh,
but yeah, it just, well, and I remember seeing him on many shows, but never heard him speak about that. And
yeah, he was quite eloquent on a lot of different subjects, not just science.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of writers, I highly recommend that people will go to Michaela Jade's Patreon and join that, because she does some amazing work. I mean, she's a damn fine writer, and she's not being appreciated as much as she deserves. I mean, she's got her fans, but you know, she deserves a wider voice than what she's been getting here lately. On her Patreon, there are things that are exclusive to that, and news and upcoming release announcements for new books coming out and things like that. Just everything. But please do give her a look there, and if you can, please join and help the lady out. She's just retired from her day job and is now a full-time writer, which is a very difficult and traumatic transition to go through, especially for somebody as young as she is. And I have read a little bit of what she writes. It's not the same kind of thing that I write. So I can't judge one way or another. I have read lots of fantasy over the years, and it's right on up there with some of the best that I've ever read. So give it a shot.
And look her up and subscribe to her on YouTube.
Yes.
Author Michaela Jade. She's got a couple of good shows, Tidbits and Scribbles.
And
one of them,
Morning Motivations, both.
Morning Motivations, yes. I was kind of tripping up on that one, so I was glad that you jumped in there.
She's very well-rounded and very educated into what it is that new writers and sometimes readers need to hear. And she is putting herself out there as a sideline, doing editing and proofreading and stuff like that. And believe me, she's highly qualified. So if you need an editor, look her up if it's something that is in a genre where you're compatible with her style, or even if it's not, she would be able to stretch. I she might even be able to edit something of mine, and I'm in a totally different genre than anything that she writes. So please.
Well, and I got to admire her for quitting the day job to be able to do this, because I used to do her day job many more years ago than I care to admit. And then that progressed into getting into the retail end of it. But when I became garden center specialist, or well, Lowe's, they called it Lowe's Pros.
Mm-hmm.
And then Menards and Kmart, the specialists there. And so I went from doing what she did to dealing with those people coming in to get the things that they need so they could do that. And it's very hot.
It's very physical labor.
Demanding work. Yeah. You get a good workout.
I'm glad that she was able to leave it behind, and I hope that she's, being able to, well, she's realizing a dream, and that's incredible. That's what all of us want, really, is to be able to do what we love to do, and have somebody go, "Hey, this is good. Let me pay you something." No.
If anybody can do it, that's the thing. It's some people have the heart, but they don't, and maybe the determination to some extent, but then they're not brave enough, or they're a little unsure of themselves.
I have seen a lot of people step back from actually putting themselves out there, and I don't want to say giving it their all, because as a writer, you're giving it your all when you put your hands on the keyboard and start typing. But to be able to go that next step and go, well, I've got this done, I've got this published. Now I've got to convince people it's worth investing in and giving it a shot. And she's very knowledgeable about all of the different aspects of not only writing but publishing and advertising. And she's very driven. She's very, she's a very personable young lady. Let me tell you, she's a lot of fun to be around and to talk to. And in her streaming broadcast, she's a lot of fun to listen to as well. And she's got a lot that's worth hearing that she has to say. So I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend it.
Very, very outspoken, and I think you could take everything she says for its worth. It's really, she doesn't talk down to people. She doesn't.
Oh, no.
What if something bothers her and she's talking about that, she's going to let you know 100% how she feels about it and what's going on. And that's just her being true to herself.
And true to anyone she's speaking with. Really, she's dynamite. Let me tell you. So check out Michaela Jade. Please do.
And there's Mr. Late Night himself.
How y'all doing?
Oh, Chris, don't feel bad. I was very late tonight. I think, what did I get in for about the last half hour of Stupid O'Clock?
Yeah, and you still got there before Joe Dog, didn't you?
No, he was actually there by the time
okay.
I got there. So yeah.
Senior moment. Senior
Why was
moment.
Joe late?
He and his son went off to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife,
Oh, okay.
and they had a great time. And Joe highly recommends the movie, and he says, "Do not leave early. Watch all of the credits because there are two."
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
I'm going to have to tie Kayla down to her seat because she's one of the first ones to jump up as soon as the lights go up in the theater. And we, well, not the last movie I took her to see, but years ago, actually, I took her and my youngest nephew, Casey, to go see one of the Spider-Man movies. And I'm wanting to think it was Spider-Man Homecoming, but I can't remember now. And anyway, because it was a Marvel movie, I had to get them both kind of pinned down in their seats saying, we can't leave yet.
It ain't over.
And you guys aren't going to leave until Uncle Bill leaves. But yeah, I'm actually really excited to go have it's been since late spring since I had a movie dinner date with my niece, and we were actually well, last Saturday we celebrated her 13th birthday with a skating party, but her birthday wasn't actually until this past Monday, but they do all that on the weekend for the kids. So she had a lot of fun there, and I came back with a little bit of hearing left in my head, enough to do stupid o'clock. But and then this Saturday, like I said, I'm taking her out to dinner and see Ghostbusters, which I think we're going to do the matinee and then go out to eat afterwards. So, yeah. And then the Saturday after that, she gets a whole weekend, or well, a good part of a weekend, starting on Black Friday. After Laura gets off of work, their auntie is picking up Kayla to go spend the night and catch a bus. And the Saturday morning, it's a bus tour to Chicago. They go every year on an annual trip up to the Water Tower Center. And Kayla, even though she's 13 now, she's still into all the American Girl doll stuff. Mm-hmm. And so they'll go up there, and Uncle Bill, one of his presents that he gave her was the gift card for Forever 21, which that store is in the Water Tower Center too. So they get to do a Friday and a Saturday. Well, mostly all Saturday, but they'll be coming back Saturday evening. And of course, Thanksgiving being on Thursday, and then she's got a full November of doing things. So between birthdays and holidays and out with Uncle Bill and Aunt Laura.
I think the last movie that we went to a theater to see was for Lindsay's birthday, and we went to see the Queen biopic.
Oh, okay.
And we absolutely loved it. The last movie before that we went to see was I think it was the third Thor movie, which just happened to be released on my birthday.
Was that Ragnarok, or?
I do believe, yes, it was.
Yeah. I've still yet to see that one.
It's good.
I've been collecting stuff. If I can't find it as a digital download, I will buy the DVD and put it on the shelf. Even though we're running out of walls to put shelves on now, my movie collection is now taken up 2 walls of the house, and starting into the bottom of one of my bookshelves, which is, it's a good thing I've got a Kindle and I'm not buying paperback books that often anymore, but I've still got a lot of stuff that I have picked up at conventions that really need shelf space instead of sitting in a box somewhere.
I think the last movie I went to see in the theater was Black Widow.
Oh,
Nah.
see, and I've yet to see that too. There's a few of them.
I actually caught that as a DVD in the grocery store.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Black Panther, and I did thoroughly enjoy that. And
that was very good. That was very good.
Yeah, but the last one we saw, or I saw with my niece, but it was also the last movie I saw, was Peter Rabbit 2, which primarily is a British movie. The character actors and everybody in it, and it was, of course, done up in England, and it's a very, for computer animated as opposed to traditional animation, which is always and always will be my preference. This one was done quite well. And it's a very cute movie. It's very, very kid friendly, needless to say.
Some of the CGI is pretty good. I do like traditional animation, particularly stuff from the 70s and 80s. That style.
Yeah.
A lot of the Japanese animators do some really, really.
Oh, they do some awesome stuff. Yeah, there's some of that you can't. You find it hard to believe it was hand drawn. It's so beautiful. I ran across today about 4 different animated reconstructions of classic Doctor Who episodes.
Yeah.
I wish I was rich because I'd buy these right now, but I'm not, so I'll have to come back later.
I saw the picture that was a caption to it.
Yeah, and I think most of them are available on YouTube. I know I've watched about 6 or 7 of them on YouTube before, and they are done well.
Yeah, they are. Some of them, the animation is a little bit clunky.
Right. Yeah.
But those are not the most recent ones. Those are the ones where they first started out trying to reproduce missing episodes and splice them into the still existing filmed episodes of a story. So you get a couple of live episodes, and then you get an animated one, and then you get a couple of live episodes, and you get an animated one, and once you get into the story, you stop noticing that it's not live anymore and it's animated. It's just the story, which that's Doctor Who in a nutshell.
I used to love the they called them Shogun Warriors, but they were various Japanese animated with the mechs and machines, giant robots that fought.
Yeah.
Show Dangard Ace, Grand Azir, I can't remember. Those are the 2 ones that really stuck out in my mind. But
I loved Robotech, the Macross Saga, of course, Voltron. Matter of fact, and every day is Saturday, I recently posted the Voltron movie that had both the Lion Force and the Vehicle Force, where they actually fought together. And then Battle of the Planets was one I loved from 1978.
Yeah, I would like to see that without the stuff they spliced in for U.S. television, but still with an English dub, so I don't have to learn Japanese in order to understand what's going on.
Well, I was going to say, to use one of Josh's terms, Sorry, Josh, I'll pay you the royalties on that.
I'll wait
I
on
was
my
going-
check.
Yeah. Keep waiting. No, I was going to say there are available. I've seen, and I think I posted one or two of them in the Czech Shack group that are the Japanese ones that are not had the English splicing in it.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind reading subtitles, it's pretty good to get through.
Well, yeah.
But yeah,
I do have a problem when I'm reading subtitles. I can't watch what's going on.
Yeah.
it's kind of hard.
Same problem I got. I can't stand subtitles.
Well, my wife has subtitles on the regular TV. Her family has had a several generations of hearing impaired people, and her hearing is going away. So she just normal TV. She will watch subtitles.
Yeah.
And I just recently purchased 3 Godzilla movies because I couldn't watch the action of the movie with the subtitles going on, even though I know the English dub story is different from the original Japanese script. So
the thing that I know some people are excited about that are Robotech and Macross Saga fans, Harmony Gold lost the copyright to it, so they're planning on redoing it, and whoever's got the copyright now. So people are looking forward to it because they weren't completely happy with what Harmony Gold did to the original.
this excuse me.
God bless you.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. Harmony Gold has done some really great stuff, and they have done some stuff that was less great, and sometimes in the same series.
Now,
you have to mention Star Blazers, aka Battleship Yamamoto.
Yep, there is a live action Yamamoto movie out.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen a clip from it, and it was the wave motion gun being used for the first time. But that's all I know about it. I know it's out there. I don't know if it's available with subtitles or dubbed or whatever.
Yeah.
But the live action looks really, really good. The special effects look really, really good. So I've got high hopes for it. But
if you have Amazon Prime, The Wheel of Time is about to premiere on it.
I was never able to get into those books. I'm sorry. It just I know they're wonderful. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I don't have anything bad to say about.
I'm thinking the series will be a little bit more streamlined because me and a fellow friend and fan were talking about it, and I was talking about how difficult it was to get through some of the novels, and he's like, yeah, because he just kept throwing plot point after plot point after plot point after plot point. And when Sanderson took over to finish it upon his death, some of the plot points just kind of withered and died because he had so much he had to go through. And
there's so many. There's only so many dangling plot points you can tie up. The rest of them, they're just going to, like you said, wither and die. They can't be addressed in the limit of the media that you are working in.
And from what I understand, he had a whole lot of notes.
Oh, yeah.
I think I heard 2 53-foot trailers full of notes.
I wouldn't doubt it. There are several writers that we know from a couple of the conventions in Chattanooga that pretty much their outlines for future novels take up more wordage than most entire series of novels. So,
Well,
matter of fact, one of the folks that was working in a shared universe with one of the people in question was going, he'd write 150,000 word outline for a book we were supposed to work on that only needed 50,000 words, and I'm just going. So I take this and I chop out every third word, or what?
Speaking of chopping things out of series of books, or like what you were talking about with Harmony Gold and that, which, by the way, the comical comics for Robotech, the Macross Saga, and what was the other one, Chris? There was Macross, and there was at least one or two more series.
I think of the most, but yeah, there were two other series, but
yeah, they had some good stories in those comics. If you ever find any in dollar bins, they're worth picking up on that. But I've been seeing a lot of stuff, and it's supposed to come out, I think, on Thanksgiving. They redid the Homecoming TV movie that would turn into the Waltons. And they have a whole new cast. I've been watching Eric Scott, who plays Ben, Cammie Cotler plays Elizabeth, Mary McDonough, and Judy Norton, who plays Erin and Mary Ellen, talking about this for the last couple of weeks now, and then seeing a lot of shots of the new Waltons, and they're minus Ben.
I will tell you the one, Ralph Waite. I loved him as Gibbs' father in NCIS. I mean, I liked him better as the father in that than I did the Waltons.
I liked him a lot, and this wasn't the first time I saw him, because the first time I saw him was in the Waltons when the show started. Because, Andrew Duggan played the father in the movie Homecoming from 1972. And then, of course, Patricia Neal played Olivia, and radio star Edgar Bergen of Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, he played the grandfather in there. But Ralph Waite, I would get to love the Paul Newman movie Cool Hand Luke, and Ralph Waite had a part of one of the prisoners in there, as well as Wayne Rogers and George Kennedy. Of course, everybody knew George Kennedy being in there, with Strother Martin. But not a lot of people remember Ralph Waite and Wayne Rogers from MASH being in that. And it's such a wonderful movie. It's another one that I used to, WGN Channel 9 out of Chicago used to show that movie quite a bit.
Well, the thing I remember most about WGN is the Cubs games and listening to Harry Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They play Van Halen's song Jump. That was the theme song for a while in the early 80s when they were really hot again.
Well,
but when I became a Cubs fan, it was Hey, Hey, Holy Mackerel, no doubt about it, the Cubs are on their way. That song. And then you can find on YouTube a video of my favorite Cub, Billy Williams, singing that song. Just a very short version of it, but
I remember Harry Carey trying to pronounce Andres Galarraga's name.
Well, remember him and Steve Stone, they had this thing where a name would come up
Mm-hmm.
And Steve's talking stats of this ball player, or whatever. He's into the better part. And then, Harry's always was color commentator, but hey, what, you know what his name would be if you pronounced it backwards, and it would be so pitiful. And I could only imagine what Stone was going through at the time, but it was hilarious. It was drop dead hilarious.
Well, you heard Will Ferrell's impersonations of him.
Oh yeah, yeah. And there's actually, I'm trying to think now, there's one other person who's even better than Will Ferrell at Harry Carey. But in '83, when both the Cubs and the White Sox were doing really good, and they were both in first place in July, my friend and I.
Frank Caliendo a bit.
Huh?
Frank Caliendo a bit. He's real good at doing
Yeah, Caliendo. Yeah, Frank Caliendo. Yeah, who is a Chicago native. But so we went to a Cubs game at Wrigley Field. My friend made a great big banner out of one of his mom's good white bed sheets. And in blue spray paint, he painted Cubs Sox World Series 1983. So when it got time to do the seventh inning stretch, we know that they were always panning the cameras around Wrigley Field, typically to get in pictures of the really hot looking girls from Chicago that were there in the Cubs games. But we went out in the middle of the aisle and held up this big bed sheet banner and held it up towards Harry and Steve's booth. And we did get on TV for probably about 7 to 10 seconds, along with Harry saying, "Hey, look at these guys. Boy, wouldn't that be great? Yeah, buddy, I hope it does come to this." And, just typical Harry Carey style of going on about it. But that, him acknowledging us, that was the best thing in the world for a couple 20-something-year-old Cub fans.
Well, the great thing about Harry Carey is you couldn't help but get caught up in his enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah.
And, I am not a Dodgers fan at all, but I love Tommy Lasorda's enthusiasm for the game. And if you listen to him talk about it, you couldn't help but get it. I mean, even if you weren't that interested in it, he would make it where you were interested in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And that takes special talent.
Guys, I just ran across an obituary. It was posted like 10 hours ago. The fellow that wrote Schoolhouse Rock and sang, Dave Frischberg, who wrote I Am Just a Bill, passed away at age 88.
I love Schoolhouse Rock, and that one.
Hey, that is a defining part of our childhood, gentlemen.
And it hasn't been that many years since Bob Durrell's passed away, who sang the majority of those songs. I think probably, 6 or 7 years ago? I know I should know, but...
he was the one that did Conjunction Junction. Yep. And a lot of other stuff, too. And
tons of it.
Tons. Well, not even that, but I've seen him actually. I've recognized his voice as an actor when he's in stuff. So now this
that's sad.
Yeah, this just hit me because that's a. Hopefully, that part of our childhood will still be continued on for other children in the future, because it was an important series of little shorts that had a lot to say about a lot of different subjects.
Tuesday, of course, Laura and her dad and I went up to our Chicago trip up there to go to his house up there, and we were talking about commercials that just set us on edge. It was like fingernails on the chalkboard. And the one that Laura said that bugged her the most was the 1-800 Cars for Kids commercial. So I don't know if you have it that far down south.
No, I've never heard of it, but I can just.
Oh my God, you are so fortunate for not hearing it. Now there's a guy and a kid who sings the song, and it's just 1-800 Cars for Kids.
Oh God, I hate that.
KARS, Cars for Kids.
Stop.
And it's horrible, as all the torment that I'm putting Chris through right now.
It's
singing
worse in person. Huh?
Yeah. Well, the kid singing it, and Chris will probably back me up on that. Sounds like a kid singing it, so that's kind of bearable. The guy singing it, horribly off tune, more so than what I was, because I was trying to be off tune to impersonate this guy. Now, they went through several variations of this song over the years. One time they tried to do it as a rap song. One time they tried to do it as country, so on. And, one time they tried to do it as a pop song. And I think they were basically putting feelers out there to see what the responses were going to be. And I'm quite certain they were all the same response, absolutely disdain for the commercial. But one thing it does, when I'm tormenting Chris by singing 1-800 Cars for Kids, it's making you remember the phone number, which is what they want to do. So they might have purposely done that, crazy like a fox.
I purposely change the channel every time I hear it.
Mm-hmm. Well, so does Laura. Laura, we were listening to WBBM and boop, and she'll turn it right off. She'll put something else on for about a minute, and that's it. But at the same time, the Schoolhouse Rock stuff that Dan was talking about would make you remember things in a good way, like, of course, the preamble, which I would have never learned if I didn't learn how to sing it.
Well,
it's one of the
there is another commercial that usually got paired with it that I enjoyed because it's basically a public service announcement talking about when you're having surgery and the person happened to have the name of a major secondary character and a author by a novelist who is one of my favorites, and Dan probably knows from Liberty because he's been there often enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the ironic thing is the author's wife had surgery on her knees by the time I had heard that. And the irony was just, I wasn't laughing at the fact the author's wife had knee surgery. I was laughing at the fact he had a name in the commercial that was a character, an important character in one of his biggest series.
You stumped me.
The guy in the commercial that was having the knees worked on was Mr. Detweiler.
Oh.
Dan knows who I'm talking about now.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
So while I hated the 1-800 Cars for Kids commercial, I enjoyed that one because I heard Mr. Detweiler in it.
Now, you talk about something that has names that you're familiar with. A whole lot lately, and maybe I'm just hearing this wrong. They're talking about a doctor for the CDC, and I think I started hearing this when the Pfizer pill was first being announced, which, by the way, I would find out that if some people would say, well, I don't want to get the jab, I'll take the pill. You're going to find out it's going to be a very expensive way to do it, as opposed to having it done for free, because I guess you have to take 6 pills a day for, I can't remember how many weeks, but anyway, it ends up being a very huge expense. But when they first started talking about the pill, they kept making reference to what a certain CDC doctor was saying. I could have swore they said Dr. William Shatner. And I'm like, are they saying Schaffner or some other variation? But I swore they were saying Dr. William Shatner. So
that'll be the day.
Oh my God. Well, he's been to outer space, so I don't know if that qualifies him for the medical field and for the CDC.
No. You get to explore inner space for that one.
Yeah. And here.
Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise, representing the United Federation.
I've been playing with it. I think I've just been kind of piddling with it the whole time. I forgot the stupid thing talks, and it has blinking lights and all this stuff. I found this and some other spaceships that I put together that I've always wanted to make a little mobile, like how I had when I was a kid. I used to have the Enterprise, Klingon battle cruiser. I think it was a D7 battle cruiser. Oh, and I had a Romulan bird of prey, and I had them, and all of them hanging up mobile. And then I had some planets in the background from it. So I don't know. When I take my niece to Champaign to the movie on Saturday, we may have to take a side trip to Hobby Lobby, see what they have in the way of accessories to make mobiles with.
Oh, Hobby Lobby is just about out of business down here. The people reacted badly to them importing actual artifacts, archaeological artifacts from the Middle East, and trying to sell them off as junk, and they got in a lot of trouble. And
I didn't hear about that.
Oh yeah, it was a few years back, but
yeah, I was going to say quite a few years ago.
There was a lot of backlash in the local area about that, because these were artifacts from the Holy Land, and it, not necessarily Israel, but everywhere around in there. Yeah. And folks kind of thought that was disrespectful and stopped going, even though they've got this highly Christian reputation. We started seeing them as more or less the hobby store version of Chick-fil-A.
Up here, we have tons of Hobby Lobbies. We got Chick-fil-A's too, as far as that goes. But the only Hobby Lobby we ever had close was in Danville. And if Carl or Donna were out here watching tonight, or even on the rerun, and they could confirm this, the only reason why the Danville Hobby Lobby was closed was because it was Danville. It had nothing to do with the store or anything, but it's the ones up in Chicago are about 3 times the size of a super Walmart up there. Well, of course, everything up in Chicago is bigger anyway, but still, they're super, super huge. And it's not like Hobby Lobby has a total, like they dominated anything. We have Michael's,
Yeah.
We have Prairie Gardens in Champaign, which is hobbies and floral and garden all together. And then over in Indiana, they have the other version of that, which is called Jeffrey Michael, or Jeffrey, maybe it is Jeffrey Michaels, I forget, Jeffrey something, which is like the sister store to Prairie Gardens. But yeah, ton of people go, and I just go because of the sales, and that one way or the other. I do like that they're closed on Sundays. I think, especially now, since of all the online stuff going on, it wouldn't hurt some of these businesses to be closed on a Sunday during normal circumstances and not during everything that's been going on the last 2 years. But I just wish that there were a lot of other places that were still in business. But did you hear about CVS? They are closing 900 stores in the next 3 years, and they only have about 10,000 stores nationwide.
Well, they've got 50 in one county alone here. I mean,
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
They're like Dollar Generals and Golden Pantries. There's
Well-
one on every damn corner.
The
Well-
thing about them and Walgreens is they both bought out competitors and they've oversaturated the market.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
Walgreens
people-
has been over here forever, and we've ever since I moved here, we've had Walgreens. Now we've not had it in the same location for all those years, but we've to one degree or another, and that always had them. And which I do business at Walgreens, and that I used to not do business with them for a while, but the one that I go to right now does really well for me, and that's actually where I got all my jabs at, was at Walgreens, including the flu jab, as Josh would put it. And Laura and her dad got their booster today, so I was
Lindsay
with
and I are
them.
looking forward to being able to get ours. It's not available here for us yet because we haven't had the requisite number of months between the second jab and the third one. So.
Right. Well, we did. Laura and I got our Pfizer's back in March, and then her dad just almost a month later, probably 2-3 weeks later. But he got the Johnson and Johnson, so he had the single shot. And regardless of what they were saying about Moderna being the booster that has the highest percentage of, as far as working, Laura chose to have him get the Pfizer booster. One, because she knew other people like myself who got them and had no problems with it. Mm-hmm. She also, our person who cuts our hair, boss lady that I was doing the work for the estate sales, she got really sick, but it was a couple days later. So tomorrow, Laura said, well, barring any really bad side effects or anything, we'll just plan on going to the auction, and if I can't, you know why. So
yeah.
But they were both acting fine. I was with them for about 4 or 5 hours today and did a little grocery shopping trip with her while he took a nap. And the only reason why her dad takes a nap was because he's 86 years old, and about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he takes a nap for about 20-30 minutes, and then that kind of rejuvenates him.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And that's his regular routine. So we knew he was getting kind of like you, Dan. He was kind of nodding a little bit. Hey. And then he would jump up and he would start trying to tell me this story when he was in the Air Force. And he kind of was really had a loss for words what he wanted to say. And I said, Steve, it's about your nap time, isn't it? Well, I usually do. And about that time, Laura says, well, we're going to do some grocery shopping for you, Dad. And I said, you know, I'll go with you, and that way he can take a nice nap for about an
We'll
hour or
wake you up
so.
when we come in.
Well, that's just it. We came back in, and all the lights were still off, and he was back in his bedroom, still asleep. And so we were talking amongst ourselves and that, and of course talking about my sister-in-law, and so we kind of had that time for a little bit. But she was did eventually go in there to try to gently wake him up because she wanted to make sure to say goodbye to him and before she left. And she has a cat who's diabetic that has to get 3 shots a day of insulin. So and the second one was supposed to be about 3 or 4 o'clock, and it was 4:30, so she needed to get going. But he does pretty good with the things. So I don't, we'll see. But I keep an eye on him, and because I live closer to him than Laura does, she told him if you feel a little sick or you feel just a little bit funny, call Bill. He'll get to you quicker.
Well, gentlemen, we've got like 2 minutes or a minute and a half, 2.5 minutes left.
2.5.
Yeah. And yeah, Bill, as you were saying, there was something that came up a long time ago that people that take a hour or so nap every 5 or 6 hours wind up living longer and being healthier than folks that just keep going on in the normal 20th, 21st century. Stay awake as long as you can and then sleep as little as you got to until you got to get up and go to work the next morning.
Yep.
Sort of schedule.
This is a man who had cancer and went through the Korean War and did many things in his life, and he's still kicking around. He'll be 87 on Christmas Day, so we have plenty to celebrate.
Well, if I keep up the schedule I've been on, I probably am not going to reach old age until I'm 175.
I meant to ask you while we had the few remaining minutes about your schedule, and I know the last time you had talked, there was somebody that needed to have their job filled that now no longer does, and I didn't know how that affected you.
There was a young lady that she had some bad times going on, some stressful stuff going on. She had just gotten married. Her 2 younger children, she could not find babysitters for, so she missed too many days of work, and the company was going to fire her, but she managed to file the correct paperwork to go on a medical leave. And now she is waiting to be released by the doctor that approved the medical leave so that she can come back to work. She's had enough time to where all the stress is being lessened. So I'm hoping that in the next 2 weeks she will be back at work, and the fellow that I've been training will be fully qualified for that job, and I will be able to go back to my regular job.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
If not, there is another daytime only job that is coming open that is 2 pay grades higher than what I'm making on my normal daytime only job. It would be an absolute miss for me to come in and try and clean up. So I don't really want that job, but if for some reason there's a difficulty in my job resuming the way it has been, then I can put in a bid on that, and I've got enough seniority to where I can beat out just about anything in the plant to get it. But We
Now,
shall.
if you did do that, would that increase your pension any, being this close to retirement?
No, the pension is determined on how many years seniority I've got for
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
a fixed figure per month per year of seniority. So
Okay.
right now it's like $51 a month times how many years seniority you've got. And by the time I retire, I'll have 46 years. So $51 per month times 46, that's what I would get. The lump
Nice.
sum payout is $350,000.
Mm.
Wow.
I would have to take a much less per month to actually match how many years I expect to keep living.
Hmm.
So I could do that. It's no problem. It's just a matter of paperwork. Or I could take the lump sum and roll it over into a Roth IRA and pay the taxes on the 350,000, and which would I think is something like about $50,000 just
Hmm.
in, that one year, just
Right.
above whatever I've already made, but
Hmm.
for that amount of money, and then pull out whatever the amount is that you're mandated to
Hmm.
withdraw from a Roth IRA every month,
Hmm.
and then I would have my 401k, which is closing in on $250,000 again. So basically I'd be looking at retiring on $500,000 and never touching Social Security.
Mm. That's
That
good.
would that would be nice. I keep
Well,
hearing all these.
we'll look at that now. Now there's going to be groupies following me around at these conventions, going, "Hey, he got some money." No, my wife got some money. Uh,
All these people are going to be contacting you on Facebook Messenger about their Patreons and Kickstarters and
They can do
getting
well,
into.
that.
as long as I only get $300 a week, I can only support the people that really believe can do need my help. There are others that I don't think need my help because they're even more
Financially secure than.
no, not financially secure. They're more attractive to the buying public of whatever genre it is that they're working in. You know,
I tend to want to support the people who aren't able to market themselves and their product quite as well as the other ones who do, because they act basically like, I don't know that I can do this or if I'm going to reach this goal or whatever, when the other people are already talking about 5 stretch goals further ahead.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, those people know what they're doing. They got everything going for them. So they don't say, not that they would not want my support, but technically they don't need my support.
Well,
And if I got
I want to
the,
support everybody,
well, of course, we all do.
but
But
there are people that don't actually need my help.
Yeah.
right. And sadly enough, some of us don't have a ton of money. So I have
There's
to be a
more
little
than
more
some of us.
selective of who I do, which
Like
is by all means nothing against the ones who I can't. Because if I can't help them this time, I might be able to help them next time,
Yeah.
well,
And
remembering that I couldn't.
most
the
people
ones that I don't
understand.
have spare money to help, I will share so that
Right.
other people that are in better. I mean, really, I'm living off of $300 a week.
Hmm.
I mean, I know elderly people that get more.
Yeah. Um, Question, Dan. Are you doing Last Man Standing this Saturday, or are you having to work?
No, I will not. I will be at work. I will not be. I will not be here for stupid o'clock. I will not be available for Last Man Standing. I will be at work, wishing I were here. Believe me.
Is
Yeah.
this your last uh, weekend having to work night shift, or are you going to have to do it again?
I do not have the faintest idea until they give me the paperwork to go back to my daytime only job.
Mm.
I'm going to have to keep doing rotating shifts. This weekend will be night shift. Thanksgiving weekend, I will be on day shift. Weekend after that, I will be on night shift again.
I
But
understand.
yeah, this weekend starts on Saturday night. Next weekend starts on Sunday daytime,
Mhm.
and then after that, I'll be in the middle of the week, so I will miss Thursday, but still be able to do Saturday. Two
Okay.
weeks from now.
Dan, you know how you used to put up the rising tide little meme thing that showed all the shows and all that? You're
Yeah,
going to have to make a new one just for your schedule so that everybody knows when you're going to be here and when you're not.
They just need to tune in for the current show that he's able to do and find out what he's going to be
yeah.
able to do
Yeah.
next.
I'll tell everybody, hey, I won't be here next week, but I'll be here week after next. Yeah.
Will Dan Hollifield be here for stupid o'clock on Saturday night? And will there be a last man standing?
This
You want
week,
to find out? Stay tuned.
this
Next
week
stupid
the
o'clock. Yeah, next stupid time, next stupid channel.
All right, guys, we're already like 8 minutes over, so
Yeah. Have a
Boy,
good
that never happened before.
hey, I'm still awake and we're 8 minutes over.
I know. I
one.
got it.
We
It's not
tried,
like the
Dan.
show's
We
going to
really
go on
did try.
for 4 hours with me going.
We really did try, Dan. We really did.
That's not a bald
So
spot. That's a beauty mark.
I will see either or both of you in the green room tomorrow night if I get home early enough, and if not, I will see Saturday night.
I
Well,
doubt
we
if
I
can
I
make the
will make
green
the
room
green
tomorrow.
room. I
Yes,
might
indeed.
make stupid.
yeah, well, like I said, I've got my dinner and movie date with my niece, but we're actually she has church on Sunday morning, so I know Jenny will hang me out to dry if I don't get her daughter back at a decent time. So
Yeah.
I'm planning on us going to see a matinee for one, because that way it'll be cheaper for Uncle Bill, and then we'll go out to Cracker Barrel or Red Robin or wherever she wants to go out to eat afterwards, and then I can still get her back at a decent time, get home, do a few things around here, and then get ready to start the show at 10
Yep.
for Saturday. So that should be no problem. But of course, tomorrow night's like always. I'll whenever I get back from the auction. So,
Well,
but
ladies,
I'm
ladies and gentlemen at home, remember, we are professionals. Do not try this at home. You do not have sufficient training in the safety and operation of the internet. But good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, y'all. And
I can just
love y'all and everything. And here we go. We're off for the ride.
bye bye.